This battle is our sacred duty.
I have seen what has come and what will be. I grow weary of this.
Her knees hit the earth, soaked in red. Her friend lies silent, her heart hangs dead. A voice ancient and holy slithers inside. Rise and serve me, your pain will subside.
This battle is our sacred duty.
I have seen this instantly. Your time has come.
Her chest erupts, rips break apart. A searing blaze consumes her heart. Not on this but fury on pure and raw. A vengeance born from the pain she saw.
You hungry vessel, your lord slave. Your daughter will burn in the fire again.
Bronze stretched wide flames toil and roar. The clouds miss beneath her.
Obey me!
Rid yourself of illusions. Fans are high and wait for the Nova. My face crushed down, flames in the chest. Read yourself for your illusions. You are not in control. There can be no escape. Eternity looms as it tells us.
Germs, thickest blood in the air. Two forces locked in a predatory stare. The clouds, both shatters, the fragile calm. Our carmine defiance into my sound. She searches forward, her voice weak. No scripture will hold what's about to happen. This is your ascension. It's your collapse. Your empire of torment will be reduced to nothing. I am the god of vengeance. With my rage and broken body tread. I am the god of vengeance. Her wings rise and the secret. I am the god of vengeance. The ruined and dash, the furious one. I am the god of vengeance. The fire of vengeance, brutally reborn. I am the god of vengeance. With my rage and broken body tread. I am the god of vengeance. Her wings rise and the secret. I am the god of vengeance. The ruined and dash, the furious one. I am the god of vengeance. The fire of vengeance, brutally reborn. I am the god of vengeance.
And we're gonna get into the gear, the passive skill tree, and the gems, and that is it. You guys have already seen the gameplay of the first video. Now you've already seen the gameplay of this video, killing the Uber trial boss. So here is the character sheet, and I want to discuss a few things. This is a very tanky build. We have changed a 360 direction to a better direction, and I'm loving it so much better. So right now, our resistances, we have 75 fire, 57 cold resistances, 62 lightning resistance, and 44 chaos resistance. So we're going to work our way up to, of course, getting a full 75. No biggie. But the main kicker that I want to point out is that we have 4,500 armor. We have 50% reduction to physical attacks, which is majorly huge, because I know all you witches probably have 0 armor, 5% armor, or 10% armor max. You don't have as much as 50%, and when you get hit by a physical attack, I've noticed that it's the physical attacks that are destroying me, killing me in one shot. Ever since I changed the direction to go armor, it has definitely changed my life. So as you see, I have 3,252 energy shield, 2,317 mana, and 1,700 life, but 50% of that is reserved. So I only have 854 life total. In the 1.1 video, I said that when all your mana is gone, it's going to go to your energy shield, and once your energy shield is gone, it's going to go to your life. But that is not the case. It's actually your energy shield goes down first, then it's your mana pool, and then your life. So your first defensive layers is the energy shield. Once that goes to zero, your second layer of defense is your mana. And once your mana goes down, it's going to be your life. And once you start seeing your life go down and you have no energy shield or mana, that's when you know you need to block, run away, dodge. You need to like really get out of the fight. But for the most part, I'm going to explain how very tanky this build is. Is that we change all our gear out for armor and energy shield. We just replaced everything to armor, energy shield, and that is the way to go with all your gear. So I found this in the wild, which was I was very lucky. I actually found this low level near the end game, and then ever since then, has been my end game piece. It has 240 plus armor. The life is ridiculous, the mana is ridiculous, and I get 2 resistances and the stun thresholds, which is nice. So that's what we did. We went armor and energy shield, focusing on the resistances, maxing out our mana, maxing out our energy shield. Life comes third because you'll notice with some of my gear pieces that I'm actually missing the life part, which is kind of important because we do have the Ascendancy Bailout's Will to increase our spirit to have more minions, and plus it reserves our life, so it's a good idea to get life nodes. But in PoE, when you level up, you actually every time you level up, you get natural life anyway. So it's kind of like not super mandatory, but to get all that replaced, to have the mana, the energy shield, like all the resistances, all the good quality stuff, having life is kind of last, because that's going to cost you like 100 exalts, 200 exalts, very expensive to focus on that. But eventually, when I make another build guide video for the super end game stuff where this character gets completed, you're going to see that all my gear has the life, mana, resistances, or whatever it needs for that gear piece. So this is what we did. So you want to switch to armor and energy shield gear across the board. You can pause the video and take a better look at this gear. Super amazing stuff. So I found the ring. So far what I found on my own is I found the amulet I found on my own. The ring I found on my own, which has pretty much 60 plus, no, that's 70 plus, 70 plus fire resistance from this one ring. I found the belt near the end game, and I believe, and I found this ring too, which is, it's okay ring. It's not too great. I can get it replaced, but I found these naturally, which is pretty amazing. Pretty good RNG on my part. Unlike the first build guide video where I try to do my best to keep it simple. I really wanted to keep it simple. In this video, we're going to kind of go more in depth. We can't rush important things of every gear piece. So strap yourself in because we're going to talk about every gear piece. So as the helmet, as you see, it has +2 to all minion skills. So when you do purchase your helmet, the armor, energy shield, you want to focus on getting +2 to all minion skills. As you see is the life regeneration as well. That's what you want to focus on all your gear. Your number one thing is to always focus on full quality resistances. So you want to 75% your armor, 75% your fire resistance, cold resistance, lightning resistances, and your chaos resistance. That's the goal. So just do your best, completing your gear that way. Next is the body armor. This is a really solid one. So with your body armor, your primary goal is to focus on spirit. When you are going the armor and energy shield build routes, the problem is, which you probably already ran into already, is that the attributes is very hard to acquire. manage the attributes to from your skill gems to wearing your gear. So when we're going this path with the armor energy shield, you have to be very careful when you're handling your attributes, because you can mess up your attributes and you're going to find yourself stressing if you don't manage properly your attributes. So just if you see gear that has attributes in it, you want to get it. I put 2 runes of the armor, evasion, and energy shield to make the armor really pop. As you can see, it almost has 1,000 armor alone and 333 energy shield, which is really good. For your specter, it has to have +4 to all minion skills. With this one, unfortunately, it wasn't the one with the skeleton, but with this one, I wanted to focus on the attributes because it's more easier to get the attributes on the weapon, I've noticed. So I got strength and intelligence and +4 to all minion skills and mana, which is pretty good. And plus, my minions get physical and fire damage attack on top of their damage, which is a little extra bonus, but it's not the greatest specter. Rings, you really want to focus on the quality of the resistances. This is where most of your resistances come from when handling and managing your resistances, is from the rings. Same with the shield. I've noticed the weapon and the shield is very easy to get the attributes. So I got strength and intelligence and resistance, and just making sure that the shield has a lot of armor and energy shield, the best is that I can get. As you noticed, all of them have runes in them. And then for the boots, movement speed and resistances, mostly focus on chaos resistance to help mitigate the physical damage with your armor, because you have alter flesh. And same with the gloves, focus on chaos resistance on attributes as best as you can. For the belt, you want to focus on getting armor on the belt, and then life and mana and everything else that comes with it, and resistances. So most of your resistances will come from your rings and your belt. And of course, finally, the amulet. And with the amulet, you want to get 42 to spirit. And as you can see, I actually already got it anointed, taking an extra free passive in the passive skill tree. And now that's what we're going to talk about in the passive skill tree. Why we're focused on life regeneration, life regeneration, life regeneration. And if I didn't have the resistances, because I needed resistances and armor during that time, if I had the armor and energy shield handled and my resistances were okay, then this would also be life generation nodes as well. And the reason for that, let's pull up for the passive skill tree. The main bread and butter is Zealot's Oath, and it works differently from PoE 1. So in PoE 1, if you took this node before, you can never get life regeneration ever again, and all your regeneration will go to your energy shield. So now it works differently, is that your life still regenerates as normal. So what happens now is that when your life is overleaching, in a sense, is being extended to my energy shield because I'm already full on life. But let's say if I get hit by poison damage, then my energy shield will stop regenerating, and it would actually boost up my life. It goes back up to full, back to 854. It starts regenerating the energy shield. So so the crazy thing that's going on here is that we're trying to stack up as much life regeneration, which is pretty low right now, but once we get end game, we'll probably have a lot, like 300, 400, even 500 life regeneration per second to the energy shield as excess. And remember, we have mind over matter. So when I talked about the order before, it's energy shield first, then mana, then your life. So once your energy shield goes down to 0, guess what? It's still going to recover. It's still going to recover your life. If the energy shield is regenerating by 100 per second, and a monster is hitting you for 200 damage per second, then the 100 from the monster's damage is getting negated, and the 100 damage is going to the mana while it's being taken by the regeneration from the energy shield. And with your mana, you have 20% mana recoup over here, 6% mana recoup over here, and then 3% mana recoup over here. So that's a total of 29% damage taken as recouped as mana back to your mana pool, being healed. And on top of that, your mana is also regenerating like life regeneration. The generation is out of control because you're generating tons of energy shield back, and then your mana pool is naturally regenerating from the mana regeneration that you're getting from, which is insane. Everything has changed. Too bad I can't like post a paste bin of the build, so you actually have to pause the video, but we'll do it slow again like I did in the first video. Now we start the route of the end game passive skill tree. So it's the same as before. We start from the minion side, taking all the minion damage, keep taking all the minion damage until we get up to here, and then you just stop here. And then we go over here through mind generation to get open mind, pure energy. Then you work your way up to dampening shield, then to mana blessing, to the living dead. Then go to the right here, then grab the energy shield with the mana generation, insightfulness, which gives you energy shield, mana recovery, and 6% increased intelligence, which is heavily needed. Then you just take the note up here and also look at the attributes, because I did intelligence, intelligence, intelligence. And then we get the Gravedigger over here, and then we get all the faster recovery nodes because there's 2 more here. And then we take the Necro Flesh to give the minions 40% increased life, which is easy. You don't have to worry about their life recovery because you have the clerics that do all the healing and stuff. But it's a nice bonus for your, especially for your raging spirits, because they have minion instability and they explode, and it's just, and then plus your other minions still have more life not to get one-shotted. So it's just easy extra free point for 40% increased life for your minions. So that is mandatory. And then after that, we come to the left side of the tree, to the Templar. I'm calling it Templar. We're going PoE 1 route. So you take Devoted Protection, gives you life regeneration, and then Strength and Intelligence attribute, and mana generation. Then you come over here, get Sturdy Mind for more mana generation. And then last but least, you get the Deadly Swarm. And then over here, then you take Resilient Soul, 20% increased life regeneration recovery, and then 5% recouping on life, which is pretty good. 12% armor and 12% maximum energy shield nodes over here. Then after you're done over here, then you go all the way down this way. Then you come down here, you grab the jewel, and then you come over here and you grab Reinforcement Barrier. So with the Reinforcement Barrier, defend with 200% of your armor while not low on energy shield. So this is when being one shot by a powerful boss. So let's say you're fighting a Uber Pinnacle boss, and the Uber Pinnacle boss did a super crazy hit on you, like a one-shot ability. With this, helps defend against that while you're not low on energy shields. The only downside is that yes, you can get low energy shield. If your energy shield is low, then the 120% won't work. But most of the time, your energy shield will be up. But it is a factor because your energy shield is actually the first layer of defense that goes down. So just keep that in mind. Just a minor issue, but it's not too big because most of the time you'll be at full HP anyway. Then we come over here and of course grab Zealot's Oath. And most importantly, grab Core of the Guardian. It gives 100% defenses of your equipped shield. So it's giving me double this. So think of this as 600 armor and 200 energy shield. It's doubled my shield basically. That's what defenses are. It's armor, evasion, and energy shield on your body armor. And then you come over here, and this is the same thing as the shield, but it's only 60%. So as you can see, my armor alone is 968, 300 energy shield. So that's like 500 energy shield. These two nodes are juicing my shield and my armor. So if I get a shield that has, eventually I'm pretty sure there's going to be an energy shield that has 500 energy shield on it. So once I get a shield that has 500 energy shield on it, then that's going to be 1,000 pure energy shield. We already said you have to grab Zealous Oath. That is mandatory. A heart tissue is mandatory. It's recoup life and also life generation. And the good thing about life recoup, and I'm actually glad that it's really easy just to get for free. The good thing about life recoup is that when both your defensive layers are down, your energy shield and your mana, it takes 4 seconds for the effects of the life, mana, or anything being recouped to kick in. So during that time, you're taking hits. You're taking a lot of hits. So by the time that both of your layers are down, the energy shield and the mana, then your life is constantly regenerating. Then you have 3 things regenerating. You have the energy shield constantly regenerating, you have the mana constantly regenerating, and you have the life regenerating because you have the 3% recoup to life, mana, and energy shield. And remember, once your life is full, that's when Zealot's Oath only kicks in. But I've seen it like it. My life will barely ever go down. Monsters or the boss finally do get to my actual health points. They actually need to have a one-shot mechanic to even move my HP bar down. If that's the best way I can explain it to you. How fast everything's generating so quickly. Then, of course, Mind Eraser, calibration, you get maximum energy shield and maximum mana, which is very important. Allocated Restless Dead, because that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wasted points. And those 5 wasted points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I did not have my amulet allocated to Restless Dead, then I would not have this at all right now. So it's saving me passive points to put it into other very important skills that your build needs. Averse Growth, Mind Over Matter, as you already know, and Lord of the Dead to reduce your minion reduction. And Glaze Flesh, this is a very important one because you have 3 layers. You have your life, mana, and energy shield. So it's very important to have this. It's very, very, very important. Just make sure that you pause it as best you can. I'm sorry that we don't have anything to paste bin and post the exact numbers yet, but that stuff will come later because it's still like 1 week of the game being out and there's so much content to go through. So that is the path skill tree. I hope I didn't confuse anybody. Last for the path tree, Ascendancy. So when you complete your story campaign trial, which is your normal one, you go down the route of Altered Flesh. So with Altered Flesh, it takes 20% of the cold damage to fire damage, 20% of the lightning damage as fire damage, and the most important one is 20% of the physical damage taken as chaos damage. So that's going to help mitigate, like, I think melee penetration is still in the game. I'm not totally sure, but when the conversion gets split, it like helps me negate like getting one shot by a pinnacle boss or anything. So very helpful thing. For your cruel trial, when you're done with the cruel trial and you have 4 points, you go Bailout's Will. You get 1% maximum spirit per 25% life. This really helps give you a lot of minions to start doing a lot of DPS. For Merciless, for your third one, your Loyal Hellhound. Your final one, your super final one, for your Uber trial, that gives you a total of 8 Ascendancy points, is at Bailout's Gaze. Reserves 25% of your life. Add 1 mana per 6 maximum life. And the last thing we have to go over is the skill gems, and then you guys are on your way and start building the best Witch Infernalist as you can be. Infernal Hound, Elemental Army, Culling Strike, Meat Shield, so he has 50% more life, and then Maim. Maim is to slow down bosses, rare monsters. Things are actually changed with the Skeletal Arsonist because he's actually doing attacks. So as the same before, a scatter shot, but he's actually an attacker. So the attack nodes that give more physical damage actually work. So I'll show you right now. So let me take it out. And this is another AI thing they need to fix because you can have the menu screen right here. I actually have to pull one out so you can actually see. So you actually have the menu screen here. So just remember the fire damage right here. But once you put the gym in, then it resets, and I don't like that. So they need to actually fix that. So now it went from 1,300 to 2,000, 2,000 and 2,600, and we'll do it again so you can see it again. So 1,600 and 1,200. So the attack modifiers that do physical damage for some reason help the Skeletal Arsonist out. Feeding Frenzy, the same thing to do more damage. And Fire Infusion for 20% damage is maximum extra fire damage, which I believe that scales with a Heft. So Scattershot, Heft, Feeding Frenzy, and Fire Infusion for the Skeletal Arsonist. For the Cleric, Arcane Tempo, faster cast rate, increased cooldown recovery. This is for them casting Revive faster. So if your minions die, having this when their Revive cooldown is much lower instead of a long drawback, which is super nice. And then last script. So if one of the clerics die, it still has 4 seconds of its life before it dies to do its job. Summon Raging Spirits is the same thing. Infernal Legion, Fire Exposure, Minion Instability. With this setup, it always applies Fire Exposure. That is it for the Raging Spirits. Flame Wall, Flame Mastery, Arcane Surge after I use it a certain amount of times because I'm using Flame Wall a lot. And Drain Elements. Flame ability has Persistent, Cursed Ground, and Magnitude increase effect. So it puts the AoE on the ground, and then you don't have to recast it for a good long while. Because that's the point. Because sometimes when you use a curse and you curse an enemy, it goes away really, really fast. But with Cursed Ground, especially if you're fighting a Pinnacle boss, it'll just stay on the Pinnacle boss for a good 10, 15, 20 seconds. And you can do a lot of DPS. So Cursed Ground all the way with increased area effect. My character is level 85 right now, so I have 15 more levels to go for level 100. More better with the video recordings, and I'm really enjoying this, man. Like, we taking off, boys. It's gonna get real crazy around here, especially more. I mean, I'm almost 400 more subs away from 1,000 already, and the channel's only like a week old. The channel's like only no, I think it's like 2 weeks old. The channel is only 2 weeks old and almost 1,000 subs. So it's going to get real crazy. It's going to get real hectic. And as a fallen content creator, I'm ready for it. Y'all have a lovely day.